So speaking of lasagna, watch this segue. We have our guest. That was really good. We have our guest calling in, and her name is Linda, and Linda is calling in. I think this is her. She's got a website called Linda's Italian Table. It's easy for me to say. Linda'sItalianTable.com, and Linda's calling in to talk about Italian foods. Linda Calabrese Hanks. I'm going to push this button. We should have our first guest this morning. Good morning, Linda. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
It is exciting for you to be on Brilliant Ideas Radio. I bet it's the most excitement you've had in a long time.
You've definitely made the big time.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I'm happy to be here for sure.
Well, welcome to the show. And we were just talking about lasagna. You heard that, and I thought, well, that's a great way to bring you in. And you are the Italiano lady that talks about nothing but Italian cooking. So tell us about Linda and your Linda'sItalianTable.com.
Okay. Linda's Italian Table is an Italian food blog, obviously. Started it back in 2010. Had been working in other areas for a very long time and got very tired of it and wondered what to do next. And while painting the back of my house, don't even begin to go there, I was trying to think of something, what am I going to do next? And it just popped into my head. Everybody's been telling me all my life, do what you love, do what you know. And this is very obviously what I know, having grown up in an Italian family, both sides, and surrounded by good cooks and good cooking and very good Italian cooking advice. My whole life, I decided to take this turn, and it has been a ball.
Were you eating pizza while you were painting your house? Were you eating pizza? That's why you had this this idea.
One would think. One would think I was eating absolutely nothing, but just let the mind drift, and it didn't have to go far, because I had been immersed in this world growing up, and then as an adult, just I guess got the reputation over time being the one to call for Italian food and the one to talk to about Italian food, and so there we go. But I do specialize a little bit, which makes me a little bit different from several other Italian cooking sites or blog sites. I try to stick to regional Italian food and try to instruct as much as possible about the differences in the regions in Italy and how they affect the food, how the climate and the terrain and the history in the different areas have affected the Italian food. People think of Italian food and they think of spaghetti and lasagna and, all the usual suspects, pizza. Right. And Italian food can be very varied and different. And there's a lot more to it than that. And I try to educate as much as possible about the differences in the regions. And it's really fun.
Very interesting. Now, you've got a book that you just came out with. It's called For Love of, I'm probably going to destroy this. Is it For Love of Crostini?
Crostini, yes.
And what does that mean? Because I'm really stupid when it comes to Italian. What does that actually mean?
Crostini are little bites of bread, small toasted pieces of bread with all kinds of toppings on them. And in Italy, they use crostini. They use bread a lot in food. For instance, if they're serving soup, they'll put a piece of toasted bread or stale bread in the bottom of the bowl and pour the soup over. And it's very common to find, bread used this way. When I make crostini, I paint it first paint, meaning taking the brush with a little olive oil and brushing
there's that painting again.
There you go. It just sneaks in there, doesn't it? But I do brush the pieces of bread and toast them a little bit in the oven or on the grill and give them some good grill marks. And top them with all kinds of things, from pestos to short ribs to pork tenderloin. The book is full of all kinds of toppings and recipes. And all of these toppings, the neat thing about it, I think, is that it's not just for crostini. It's these toppings can be used in other ways. They can be used on fish or pasta or served over mashed potatoes, for instance, with the short ribs. And there is also a chapter on sweet crostini, which you don't see very much, that you can serve after dinner with a liqueur or an espresso or something like that. And they're made with fruits and sweet things and chocolate and all kinds of goodies.
Would they go good with beer-flavored jelly beans?
Absolutely.
You have no idea why I asked that question, probably.
Probably.
So you've got this book. It's for love of crostini, and it was just recently published. How long has it been out?
Yeah, it's just been out a few months in ebook form, and I'm presently trying to get someone's eyes on it to publish in as a print book. Everyone who has seen the book in ebook form has said it must be a print book because it's a visual. It's really a beautiful thing visually. There are tons of photographs of Italy, some from my father's hometown, beautiful food photography, and it's just filled with these beautiful pictures, and it lends itself, I think, really well to a print book.
Now, so the actual ebook, I assume that's you get it like on a Kindle. Is that right?
Not out on Kindle, but you can get it on my website. There is a book page on my website, Linda's Italian Table, under Linda's new ebook, and there's a whole page on what's in the book, how to order it as an iBook, as a PDF, and how to gift it to someone else.
Oh, interesting. Now, you also do newsletter, and I think, do you do a blog also on your website?
I do. The blog comes out every Tuesday, usually on Tuesday mornings, with a brand new recipe in it, and it's not just a recipe. There's commentary in there and very often stories that are connected with what I'm making. It could be something instructional about regional cooking as relates to the recipe, or some memory that I've pulled out of the cobwebs of my brain from growing up in that Italian kitchen, and I might run on about that a little bit. And so there's a lot there along with the recipe and, yes, the newsletter as well that comes out about once a month.
And it says you also, I was reading some of your bio stuff here, that you do Italian cooking classes. Where do you hold your classes?
I hold the classes right in my home. I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and conduct them as I am contacted in my home, and they are regional classes, and each one of them devoted to the cooking of and ingredients of a different region of Italy. And we also have wonderful wines served from the region that we're dealing with, and everyone kind of likes that. So it gets pretty lively in that kitchen.
Hey, Aaron, you still with me?
I am.
Are you a big Italian food guy?
Next to barbecue, it's the greatest thing on the planet.
There you go. Yep.
Well, you mentioned a little while ago about the crostinis, and you're putting pulled pork and other things along with it. So just a question, do the folks in Italy, do they barbecue like we do here?
You know, very good question, really. They do a lot of grilling using wood fires. Their pizzas are cooked in wood fire grills, and of course they have those big, fancy, expensive pizza ovens in some of the restaurants. But your average Giuseppe in Italy doesn't have one of those, and they cook very often on wood fire grills. They're known in Florence, for instance. One of the most famous grilled dishes in the world is bistecca alla fiorentina, which is steak Florentine style, cooked out on the grill. I've got a great recipe on the site for grilled leg of lamb. And, yeah, Italians do a lot with outdoor grilling using mostly wood.
Dan, you're right. I think most people, when they think of Italian, they think of the pizza, the lasagna, the spaghetti, and all that, and pasta.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is taking it to the next level to show that that's not just Italian. There's other things, too, that people do. And if people want to find your book, you say all they have to do is go to your website. And you also have a Facebook page that people can contact you on. And that's also called Linda's Italian Table. You can find Linda
it sure is.
there. And we wish you the best with your book, and keep us posted. If you come out with any new publications or anything, you're always welcome to come on the show. And if you had anything else you want to add, any more promo things you want to tell everybody about, you're welcome to do it right now.
Well, thank you. Nothing coming up right now. We're still promoting For Love of Crostini and having a lot of fun with that. But I appreciate the invitation very much, and I definitely will keep you up with any news on this book or another or anything else we're doing that's new and fun and different in the Italian world of cooking. And thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you. And I think the song I'm going to take as we go to break is appropriate with Linda and her Italian food. We're going to take a couple-minute break. We'll come back. And, Laurie, I need you to hang tight because I need some more food news. And are you still with me, Aaron? You going to be hanging in here for the rest of the show?
I am, but I need to crawl underneath this car real quick, so I may have to run for just a second and then
All right. All right. Well, Linda, thank you very much for joining us, and I think this song is appropriate. Lady and the Tramp. We'll be back here in a couple of minutes.
Oh, this is the night. It's a beautiful night, and we call it a bella notte.
For joining us this morning from Linda'sItalianTable.com. Check out her website. Go to her Facebook page.